Hi friends, this is Anna Hellman with Scrapping, Stamping, and Stuff. I am here today to tell you everything you need to know about Stampin' Up's new Seal and Seal Plus adhesives. I am really excited that we have officially retired the snail. We have said goodbye to the snail, and these are our two new options. And adhesive is really important in our paper crafting. If you make cards or scrapbook pages, you know that. You don't want to deal with adhesive that doesn't stick or is a real pain to use. So I wanted to introduce these to you, show you everything I have figured out so far, and hopefully encourage you to try them out sometime. So I did want to show you this. This is how they come packaged, and I really like these little pouches. They have little tear strips at the top, and if you want to keep these and use them, if you travel, if you want to stick it in your craft bag, these would be nice little carrying pouches if you wanted to keep it. So we have Seal and Seal Plus. Seal is our standard adhesive, and Seal Plus is the upgraded option that has a little bit better hold. Seal has a really good hold. Seal Plus is going to be great for those heavier things that you need a little bit stronger hold for. So let's talk about the design a little bit. They come in the same cartridge, which means that you can, if you want to, you can get just one cartridge and you can pop out a Seal insert with a Seal Plus. You could have just one of these and pop the inserts in and out and still have both of these adhesives if you want to, since they have that same cartridge. I really like how this feels in my hand. I'm going to bring this back in here. See how small the snail was compared to the new one? I really like how this one, it fills up my hand. It feels really comfortable. It's rounded on the edges. There's no bumps or anything, but it really feels nice just to hold in my hand. So I like the design. There is a cap I should mention. So when it comes, it has this little cap down here on the bottom that pops right off. And I am thinking, wow, I am never going to know where these caps are because I'm going to take it off and it's going to be who knows where. So if you want to, I thought this was kind of a good idea. I grabbed some Velcro, I should say, and put a piece right here on the side, put a piece on that cap. And I'm thinking that when I'm using them, I can... that's going to be right there. It's not in my way at all. I can keep track of it. And then let's say I do want to go somewhere, throw it in my craft bag. I can pop that back on and hey, I know where it's at. Amazing. So let's talk about price. I'll get rid of these caps. We will not need them here in a couple of minutes. The price, the Seal, the cartridge itself is $8 and the refills are $5.50. For Seal Plus, it is $12 for the cartridge and $8 for the refill. Now, I did a little bit of math comparing our snail adhesive to the Seal because this is a price increase, but you get quite a bit more tape with it. So, did a little bit of calculating, and you actually get more adhesive for your money with this new one than you did with our snail. So, that is fantastic. And the cartridge on this Seal Plus is a little bit more expensive. I'm not exactly sure why. So if you ordered 2 of these Stampin' Seal cartridges and you ordered yourself a Seal Plus replacement, the refill, you could pop this refill into one of these cartridges and you'll actually save a little bit of money that way too. So something else to keep in mind. Want to show you how to open and close these. You need to know how to replace them when they run out. So what I found was when I am... the two sides are going to pop apart. So when I'm pulling on them, I am not having any luck. Nothing is happening. But when I squeeze, it pops apart. I'm going to show you that again. So if I squeeze on it, top to bottom, it pops apart. So my suggestion is squeeze, don't pull. Squeeze, don't pull. So once it starts to pop apart, you can just kind of fidget with it a little bit until it does pop apart. At that point, this insert lifts out and you can either replace it with the other type of adhesive if you want to, if you're trying to switch out the type you're using, or just stick in your new refill right there and pop it back together. It slides back together really easily. All right, I think that's all I wanted to talk about with the basics. So let's get to using these and I will show you how they work. So we are going to start with Seal. I have a couple of pieces of cardstock here. One thing I want to mention, when I first started using this, I started to use it and it wasn't catching on my paper. So I looked at it and the adhesive was down. It was just down maybe 1/4 of an inch from the very tip. So when you start, you may need to just use your finger right here on the tip, roll it just a touch until that adhesive is right there at the tip. So if it's not catching anytime, and especially right when you first use it, you may want to roll out a little bit, get your adhesive up to the tip, and it should work well. So we just put the adhesive to the paper, pull back, and you can see that it is dispensing that adhesive. I have found that it works best, and I'm used to doing this anyway with my old adhesives. I found that it works best if when I'm done, I don't lift right up. We'll see if you can see that. Do you see the little string of adhesive? So if you just slide to the side, it comes right off. So this time I'm going to do it. Slide to the side, it breaks right off, works really well. If you ever find that it isn't catching as you're trying to start it, just press a little harder and it should catch just fine. Roll it out, slide to the side, and it breaks right off. So I'll stick this down on this other piece of cardstock, and I discovered sometimes I don't think I'm great about pressing my paper down, making sure it's stuck real well. So I discovered that when I just lay it right on there and don't really press very hard, that, we'll see if it happens this time, that it will come back apart fairly easily. So I am looking at this as kind of a really big advantage. So has anybody out there ever laid a piece of paper on your cardstock to adhere it and, oh shoot, that is not straight at all? Well, with this adhesive, as long as you've not pressed it down real hard, you can lift it back up. I have quite a bit on here, and I just pulled that apart and did not destroy my cardstock. So it can be taken apart if needed. But when you have it where you want it, I encourage you to give it a good press to make sure it is going to stay in place. All right, now let's try Seal Plus. And a tip that I was thinking, I am going to want a way to keep these two easy to distinguish from themselves when they're on my craft table. When I want to reach for an adhesive, I don't want to have to look and figure out like, oh, which one of those is the one I want. So I am thinking I'm either going to spray paint one of these a different color, or I may put like washi tape or something all over the sides. Can't wrap anything around all the way because I have to be able to open it, but something across the sides just to make one a different color than the other so that it's easy to grab the one I want. So there's a little tip for you. Okay, Seal Plus. One thing that is different about the Seal Plus is this adhesive comes in little tiny segments. So I'm going to roll this on here and lift it up and see if you're able. There, I think you can see that. See how they're in little tiny segments? Which means when you are done with this and you want to lift up or break it off, you don't have to do anything special because of those little segments. It just comes apart really easy. I really love the feel of this one as I'm rolling it back. It is really easy to get it started. It's really easy to pull. It's nice and smooth. This one makes me feel like an amazing, brand new woman when I'm rolling it back. I know that sounds super cheesy, but it just feels really nice. So I like that about it. And this one has really good hold. Press that down a little bit. I did a little tear test earlier. I put some paper together, some cardstock, and then I tried to pull it apart, and I didn't press that down very hard, but I'll press it a little bit better. When I took the seal apart. I had to tug on it, but it did come apart. When I wanted to pull this Seal Plus apart, here, it's finally starting to do it. It tears my cardstock. So this one has a really nice hold. It will be great for those heavier papers, embossed papers, and the like. So I'll show you that now. Here I did some embossing and used the seal on this one. It will still come off. It is tearing a little bit of the paper, but I can remove and reposition it if I need to. The Seal Plus is not going to do that. It is going to rip, but it gives a really good hold. And I tried it on this embossed foil paper too, because a lot of times papers like this are harder to hold. I really like how the Seal Plus holds on this. That would definitely be my go-to for any kind of special papers. One thing I want to mention about the Seal Plus before I move on from it, I have heard that when you are rolling it back, that occasionally it's so strong that it can actually pull on the fibers of your paper and kind of start pulling it apart. If that happens, just stop what you're doing and start over, and it should be fine. Shouldn't do any damage that you would notice from the other side when you attach everything together. All right, one of my first questions when we get a new adhesive is, how is this new adhesive going to work on vellum? I love to use vellum. I do not love to adhere vellum because it's a little bit tricky to get some adhesive on the back of it that isn't going to show. So I did a test and I thought I would show this to you. So this strip of vellum at the top, I adhered with the Seal. The one at the bottom, I adhered with the Seal Plus. And what I found is, as you can see on most of these, they do show through somewhat. But I was really excited to find out that on the white, they don't. The Seal especially just barely shows through on the white and the light. Seal Plus shows through a tiny bit more. On some of these designer prints, it doesn't show a whole lot, and I think I might be able to use it, but I just thought I would show that. On the darker options, it definitely shows through, so I'll stick to my other methods for adhering vellum onto some of the darker papers. All right, so I probably forgot to tell you something, but I hope that is helpful. I hope that helped you learn about Seal and Seal Plus. If you're looking for an inexpensive everyday adhesive, Seal is a really great option. If you want kind of the deluxe model that's going to give you really great hold and a really nice feel when you're using it, then Seal Plus is going to be your go-to. So I hope this was helpful, and I hope to see you again in my next video. Have a great day, everyone.